Hello, this is my first video of my in-depth look at my Pokedex binder. I did a general video, but now I'm going to go through each gen to look at the cards in more detail, starting with Gen 1, and with a connecting up between Bulbasaur and Ivysaur, and a Venusaur with Cypher and Vileplume, the Charmander promo, Charmeleon, and out of all of the Charizards they've ever made, this random promo happens to be my favourite. Squirtle and Wartortle. All the cards are hollow and in English where possible. And with this Blastoise and Piplup, I'm only putting the first named Pokemon so in this order, so Blastoise would go here. It won't count as a Piplup card. Then these two are Japanese vending machine cards, where you'd get a sheet of about 4 cards and you'd have to peel them off, but they weren't ever released in English. Here's a Butterfree with like a castle in the background. Weedle. I do like this Kakuna, as there's not really any other cards like it mid-evolution. An EX. It's my Pidgeline. Not overly keen on that Pidgey, but it's sort of best of a bad bunch. And you might have noticed that there's a lot of EX era cards, as that was the cards I was getting when I was growing up. And this legendary collection Spearow with firework hollow pattern. And I do like this Arbok because of the front it has, which I don't think any other Arbok card has, a face. And another tag team card, and this Pikachu Pop Series card is unique because, and it's front there, but it's upside down on the back. I think that was a printing error they had in most of them. And these type of cards are known as Cardass cards, released in Japan before the traditional Pokemon cards were made. And this set will always feature cards using their attack. You look at the back, get to the evolution line, and lots of Japanese stuff which I can't read. And the Nidorans. And Nidoking with a Nidoran, and Clefable with some Drifloon in the background. I do like cards which have other Pokemon on. And this Jigglypuff, which you can see little singing symbols. I like the way the clouds sort of frame this Zubat artwork. This all this is a nice hollow. You see, about there, it's got a Pokeball hollow. And a Gloom with 2 Weedles down there, and the Vileplume with Erica in the background. And like this Venonat, they're all getting attacked by Pokeballs. Not too keen on that Venomoth as well, but there's nothing better. It's an okay card, but nothing special. And a Meowth cuddling with the copycats. I think plushie there makes. I do like the eyes in this. You see, it's got a shine to it. Then a very expensive Psyduck, which I only got for about a tenner. It's on a swing. Primate with 2 Monkey in the background. And this Growlithe has a Charmander symbol because it was released in the My First Battle set. They're only worth a couple of pence, but they do have unique artwork, so it's good to have a look. Another Cardass card. Again, a decent Alakazam card, but for the Pokemon that it is, it doesn't have that great cards in my opinion. Another unique hollow pattern. all the different types on it. I do remember having this one as a kid. A Misty's tentacle with Misty in the background. And this is one of a few examples of Pokemon cards which have just real animals on them before I stopped doing that. Then a Golem blowing itself up. Slowpoke and Psyduck together. A Slowbro, sort of Einstein. It wasn't Einstein. Can't remember who it was. Who had the apple dropped in its head? Newton, that was it. There's also a Slowpoke, just a bit earlier than that. With a Magnemite after being cleaned by Lieutenant Surge, with a dirty one in the background. And a Farfetch'd jumping on some Digletts. And this is a niche reference, but this always reminds me of the TV show Prehistoric Park, when they're trying to get the Terror Bird into the van. And there's a look which, sort of from that height and angle. Then, I don't always see just that little tiny one there. And then on these 2 pages there's a lot of Ditto being beaten up. And this is the banned Grimer art, because in English it's looking about this way, but in Japanese it's looking this way. This is the first of 2 shoulder cards, because there's also a Solosis, which comes to see this one as it's hollowed out. A nice hollow cloister. And then Gengar VMAX, which is worth like 500 quid now, but I got it for about 60 quid to treat myself after getting a new job. And it's just got that one small white mark on it. And then 2 more Ditto getting battered. And this is first of a 2-part art. Execute being attacked by Spearow. Then they start battering him when they evolve. And this Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. You can see the other one in the background. Nice connected art. It's a fairly unique coffin card. Don't remember many of us with this sort of design. And this wheezing. There's James in the background. There's also an Arbok one with Jessie, but I don't have that one. Rhydon with Giovanni in the background. Chansey helping an Apom. I do like the lines on this. Nice and bold. And this is another unique hollow pattern. Fancy. Starmie with Misty. This Cypher, I think, is the only artwork, or one of 2 by this artist. It's got a nice, fairly realistic design. Then this Magikarp and Wailord, which picked up, I think, about £80. That's gone up a lot more now. Shining Gyarados. That's my most expensive purchase, about 200. And I got this before it shot up in price. It's got a little nick at the top there, but you can barely notice it. And this promo Eevee, riding some Rhyhorns. Vaporeon VMAX, Chaz. Milotic, Corsi, Feebas, Frillish, Mantine, Wishy-Washies, all of them there. Then this like Jolteon with a Rattata and Togepi. And these very expensive 2 pages. Another legendary collection, but it's got a bit of a crease there. This Flareon, because it reminds me of what my dog looked like when I'm eating. This Omastar is very rare, because for about 6 months in the 90s in Japan, you had to get a special PC card and then Omanite, then mail them both off, and they'd send you back this. I think there's about 20,000 made. Then a Kabutop's been reanimated, or Kabuto been reanimated. This Aerodactyl V, all the figure cards in the background. Snorlax with some very chubby cheeked Pokemon. Standard Articuno. Couple of them with all 3 of them on. A Dragonite, bit of crease there. This Mewtwo and Mew, which I only got for about 20 quid, is now 100 to 200. And last is Mew EX, which I also got for £60 when I finished the job, which I think I bought the Gengar from. And so thank you for watching.